The gloves really came off today on social media, Byron. Brett Favre wrote a post claiming that the state auditor, Shad White, is pushing a lie that he owes more than $1 million or owed more than $1 million to the state.
And that money was for speaking engagements that Favre never showed up for. But as 12 News' Leah Williams reports, the state auditor says Favre knew that was included in the contract. Leah?
Byron, White says under a contract with former Governor Phil Bryant's administration, Favre was supposed to do 3 speaking engagements, cut a radio ad, and deliver a keynote address. He said Favre did not complete these terms and should have never been paid the $1.1 million in welfare money. During an investigation into one of the largest embezzlements in Mississippi history, the state auditor found that former NFL star Brett Favre owed the state $1.1 million. Last May, Favre paid $500,000 and said he would repay the rest back later. 2 weeks ago, state auditor Shad White issued a letter saying he had 30 days to repay the state. On Monday, a representative for Favre paid the remaining $600,000 balance, but he still owes the state another $282,000 in interest. This morning, Favre fired at White on Facebook and Twitter, saying he would never take money for no-show appearances. But White says Favre previously admitted to not fulfilling the contract.
And the contract is very simple. It says that he's supposed to give 3 speeches. He was supposed to cut a radio ad. He was supposed to give a keynote address. And so we asked him in this meeting, did you do these things? Did you give these speeches? And his answer was no.
Favre also says he was denied a meeting with the state auditor, but White says his office recently met with Favre in person to discuss the terms of the contract.
Mr. Favre came in, we linked him up with an agent in the auditor's office. One of 2 things is true. He was either lying to those agents in that room when he saw the contract and said that he didn't give the speeches, or he's lying this morning when he says that none of this has anything to do with speeches. And personally, if I were Mr. Favre at this point this afternoon, I would probably be in a room with my lawyer trying to think of an answer to that question.
If the remainder of the money is not paid back within the next 2 weeks, the Attorney General would then decide if she wants to pursue a civil lawsuit against Favre.
I've heard that complaints are in the works, but I don't know who's going to receive a complaint or what their plan is yet.
White says Favre did cut the radio ad, but says Favre should not have received any money from the state until he met all of the requirements. Brett Favre has not been accused of any crimes. I reached out to his agent for comment, but have not heard back. Byron, Walt, back to you.